Once upon a time, we had the circle of life. Now we have the circle of disease. Before you can embrace the circle of life again, we'll need to understand the origin of disease. The root cause of disease is a combination of different controllable factors that all contribute to damage your DNA. Your DNA is the blueprint of your body. Every cell in your body is made according to this blueprint. If the blueprint is damaged, then the cells that are produced in your body will also be damaged. Those damaged cells is what causes the dis-ease in the body. Luckily, your DNA has a memory and it knows what our blueprint must look like. By changing the combination of controllable factors that damage the DNA, we can repair our DNA to its original healthy state to produce healthy cells in our body, hence destroying the disease. The body regenerates every cell in the body a few times every year. Yes, you have a complete new body every year. Some cells are replaced every 1 to 2 days. Old cells die and are replaced with new cells. The dead cells are being desecrated from the body. An exact copy of the DNA, called the RNA, is responsible for the production of new cells. But when the DNA is damaged, the exact damaged RNA produces a damaged cell, which causes dis-ease in the body. Now let's take a look at the DNA, how cells are produced, what causes DNA damage, and how to repair DNA damage and reverse the dis-ease. To understand how the DNA works, we need to take a closer look at a portion of the inner workings of the cells in the body. The body consists of over 100 trillion cells. Every cell in the body has a nucleus, and the DNA is housed inside the nucleus. The information contained in the DNA determines how our cells, and for that matter, we, are made. We have new eye cells every 1 to 2 days. We have new cells lining the gut, the intestinal tract, every 3 to 5 days. We have a new skin every month. We have a new liver every 6 weeks. We have new bones every 3 months. We are continuously being remade according to the formula of our DNA. Our DNA is made up of the foods we eat. The outside strands are made up of polysaccharides. Polysaccharides is simply put, many sugars, and everything we eat is made of many sugars. Most probably, you have heard that sugars are bad for you. Remember, not all sugars are bad. The crossword bands are made up with amino acids. Amino acids are coming from the plant-based proteins we eat, and it is all glued together with minerals. Hippocrates, father of medicine, said, "Let thy food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food." Let me stipulate this again. Our DNA is made up of the food that we eat. Now let's take a look at how a new cell is being made. DNA can be stretched out and being pulled back in, but it cannot leave the nucleus. An exact photocopy of the DNA are made, which is called the RNA. The RNA takes the new cell information to the ribosome, which can be seen as a cell factory, and goes to work to produce a new cell. For this simplified illustration, let's make a new gastrointestinal tract cell. It will take between 3 and 5 days to produce a new gastrointestinal tract cell. RNA comes down into the ribosome and a new cell is starting to be made. The new cell is built up with amino acids. Let's say the first amino acid is tyrosine. Then the next amino acid is phenylalanine. Let's make the next amino acid methionine. And the last amino acid is lysine. Every amino acid fits into the previous amino acid like a jigsaw to make up the cell. And every 3 to 5 days, a new gastrointestinal tract cell are produced. Now, if gastrointestinal tract cells are made every 3 to 5 days, why does irritable bowel syndrome, where the gastrointestinal tract are damaged, does not get repaired within 2 weeks? Well, let's see what happens with irritable bowel syndrome. RNA comes down into the ribosome, and a new cell is starting to be made. The new cell is built up with amino acids. Let's say the first amino acid is tyrosine. Now it's ready to receive phenylalanine, but there's a piece of information missing. Now it doesn't know what to do. Phenylalanine is supposed to go in there, but the information is missing. There's a rogue amino acid imposter wandering around for an opportunity to inhabit a cell. Where did that rogue amino acid imposter come from? Environmental poisons, chemicals, genetically modified foods, and much more. All of these cause molecules to be in our body that our body doesn't recognize. And whenever it sees a glitch, it would jump right in to fill the void. Now it's time for the next amino acid, methionine, but there's no place for it to fit in properly. The natural docking position is not there, so it just tries to hold on the best it can. Next up is the amino acid lysine, but there's not enough plant-based protein in the diet, and another piece of information is missing. Or maybe they are eating enough protein, but the gastrointestinal tract is not able to break it down properly. If you don't break the food down effectively in your gut, it can't get into your blood. And what is your blood? The blood is the life of the flesh, the carrier of all the nutrients in the body. So no information is available to place the lysine, and in goes another rogue amino acid imposter. Now, that does not look good. Will you accept a house built with bricks that does not fit? Neither will your gastrointestinal tract. Your body just manufactured an irritable bowel syndrome cell. That is why it does not go away. This is how disease manifests in the body. Now let's look at what causes damage to the DNA. 92% of DNA damage is caused by a mineral deficiency. We are mineral deficient because the foods we eat are mineral deficient because the soils in which the food is grown are mineral deficient. That is the main reason why DNA is damaged. You have three options. Plant your own organic food and feed the soil with good natural minerals which the plants can absorb, or buy only organic grown plant foods, or take organic mineral supplements. I will recommend all three. Stimulants like caffeine, refined sugar, alcohol, and tobacco are leaching out minerals. Genetically modified foods causes damage to DNA. Chemicals causes damage to DNA. Chemicals is a complete video on its own, but a quick example on some very overlooked chemicals in fabrics is polyester, acrylic, and nylon. They are chemical fabrics used in the manufacturing of clothing. These chemicals siphons into the bloodstream and cause damage to DNA. These chemical fabrics never lose their toxicity, and they cannot decompose. Wearing clothes made from these toxic materials allows your body to absorb these chemicals via your sweat pores, especially when exercising. Natural safe substitutes for these fabrics are modal, the cellulose from birch tree and rayon, from wood pulp, and so is viscose. Hemp is another natural fabric that is gaining popularity. Cleaning products like washing powders, household cleaners, soaps, toothpaste, shampoo, deodorants, body lotions, and many more. Drugs are the chemical powerhouses. Pharmaceutical companies distribute most chemicals. If a drug does not have a side effect, it cannot be classified as a drug. Monosodium glutamate, MSG, is a toxic poison used as artificial flavor enhancers, causes havoc on your DNA. Sometimes they disguise it and call it a natural flavor enhancer. They make it sound so healthy, but it remains a poison that damages DNA. Mold causes damage to DNA. As a microorganism, mold can splice right into the DNA. Let's have a quick look at microorganisms. Microorganisms perform the cycle of life. Microorganisms are responsible to turn matter into dust and dust into matter. Microorganisms are everywhere, in the air we breathe, the food we eat, the water we drink, the soil in which our food grows. Microorganisms are everywhere. There are at least 10 times more microorganisms in your body than cells. That is 10 times 100 trillion. Microorganisms can change roles. Microorganisms change as the environment they are in change. Whenever cells are damaged, they become the garbage collectors, and then we call them bacteria. As the bacteria is doing its work, the environment changes. And so, the microorganisms adapt to the environment and become exterminators. As we all know, exterminators exterminate. The exterminators are known as yeast and fungus. The properties of yeast and fungus are identical to another microorganism, something that we all know as virus. Virus needs a host, fungus needs a host, and yeast needs a host. Virus is just another form of microorganisms inside our body that exterminates unwanted matter. As the exterminators exterminate, the environment changes again. As the environment changes, so does the microorganisms. Now they become the undertakers, and the undertakers take away dead things. The undertakers is called mold. Mold returns everything it touches back to dust. Let's take an apple tree as a simple example. We accept that no external interference will affect the apple. Nothing eats it. The apple grows on the tree. When the apple is ripe, it falls to the ground, and the microorganisms start to decompose the apple. The last part of decomposition is where mold turns whatever is left into dust. This dust contains all the minerals that were present in the apple. These same microorganisms break down the minerals in the soil and facilitate the absorption of these minerals out of the soil and into the plant. They protect the plant against harmful pathogens, and they nourish the plant. After breaking down and facilitated the mineral absorption into the plant, the microorganisms are responsible for developing the flower, then the fruit, and then to ripen the fruit. If the fruit is not consumed by humans or animals, the same microorganisms will weaken the fruit stem so it can fall to the ground for the cycle of life to start all over again. We as humans have a similar root system as plants. It's called the gastrointestinal tract. The microorganisms play the exact same role in the gastrointestinal tract as it plays in the plant's root system. The microorganisms break down the minerals in the food we eat and facilitate the mineral transfer into the blood through the epithelium. It protects the blood from harmful pathogens which can damage the epithelium and cause leaky gut, also known as irritable bowel syndrome. It also nourishes the villi. As a microorganism, mold has its rightful place in the cycle of life, but when mold is absorbed by the body from an external source, it is extremely harmful to the body and can damage the DNA. It is extremely important to create the right environment for microorganisms to do what they were designed to do. Otherwise, they will cause damage to cells and DNA. Damage to the DNA does not happen overnight. It happened with years of malnutrition, exposure to poisons, and ignorance. However, repairing the DNA can happen much quicker, but it will not be overnight. With the right environment and with the right protocol, it can take anything between 3 to 12 months to repair damaged DNA. To create an environment where your body can repair the DNA, certain criteria need to be followed. Pure air. You need to inhale and absorb more pure fresh air. Spend more time in a park or forest and learn how to breathe in such a way to absorb more oxygen when you're not exercising. Sunlight. You need to get more exposure to direct sunlight. You need to learn what time of day is the best to be in direct sunlight and how long to get the best benefit from the sun. Self-control. You need to learn what is and how to avoid everything that is harmful for your body. This includes stimulants, foods, chemicals, SMG, and mold. Rest. You need to learn how to relax and sleep in such a way that is beneficial for your body and health. Watching how the sun rises and watching how the sun sets will make you sleep better. Exercise. You need to exercise to increase your blood circulation and your breathing. Exercise helps the body to get rid of toxins as well. A specific 15-minute exercise is all you need. Diet. You need to eat a nutrient, fiber, and fat-rich diet. You also need to take the right supplements. You also need to eat these foods at specific times to prevent fermentation and acid buildup. Water. As 75% of our body consists of water, water plays an extremely important part of our well-being. Unfortunately, not all water is beneficial for our health. Grounding. You need to be in direct contact with the earth as much as possible for as long as possible. Trust in God. You need to trust and thank God. that he supplied all the correct building blocks in nature for you to use in such a way to repair your DNA, his blueprint, which man so desperately tried to destroy. This is the only way to live disease-free, the way God designed you to live. To help you to repair your DNA in the fastest and most natural way, I have designed a course to guide you on a daily basis. The Smart Lifestyle Protocol course covers all the above and more, in detail and in easy-to-follow daily activities to achieve your optimal health. You can find the Smart Lifestyle Protocol course on my website, commonsensehealth.com, in the link either above or in the comments below. Take back your circle of life.